Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. Welcome, everyone, and thank you so much, Square Enix, for sponsoring this lovely Final Fantasy VII roundtable with all of these amazing, amazing creators here with me. And we are going to be talking about Final Fantasy VII, obviously. But before we dive deep into this conversation, I want to give everybody a chance who you probably should already know to introduce themselves. I will go in the order of which we are on this screen, and I will start off. Hi, what is up? It's me, CuriousJoi, and you can find me here everywhere as CuriousJoi. I'll just make it quick because we have a lot to discuss. Jahara?
Hi, I'm JaharaJayde. You can find me everywhere as JaharaJayde, except YouTube is JaharaJayde Games. I'm a cosplayer and I love Final Fantasy, obviously.
Midna?
Hi there, I'm MidnaBaby. You can just call me Midna. I mostly stream on twitch.tv/Midna. You can also find me on other social platforms. I'm a variety streamer. I play RPGs, JRPGs, MMOs, and so much more.
Hi, I'm MissKyliee. You can just call me Kylie. My IGN is the same on every platform except Instagram. There's a period in between Miss and Kylie. But it's nice to meet you guys. I officially hit 10 years of streaming recently, so it's a big platform. It's really good. And yeah, you can find me playing a ton of variety games. I love MMOs. I love story games and RPGs.
Hi, I'm SarahKey, and I love a lot of JRPGs. Kingdom Hearts is my favorite. I make content on stuff like that, Final Fantasy, obviously. And you could just find me at SarahKey on YouTube and Twitch, and the SarahKey on Twitter and Instagram.
Hi, I'm Spofie on all platforms except for Twitter, which has an extra E. I am a Final Fantasy XIV player turned Final Fantasy interested aficionado. So I am the baby here. I don't know. I only have experience with like Final Fantasy remake, not actually playing the original. So, but yeah, that's me. I'm a VTuber and I play a lot of Final Fantasy XIV and RPGs and stuff.
Awesome. And again, I know I said it before, but thanks so much, Square Enix, for sponsoring today's roundtable. It's because of you we're all here to discuss the greatest game of all time. I don't know, Final Fantasy VII. But we're going to start off backwards from our introductions and kind of start off. Spofie kind of already touched on it a little bit about how that she's the quote unquote new person in the realm besides Final Fantasy XIV. But what got you into Final Fantasy in general?
Yeah, I mean, I can start, I guess, because I already rambled on into it, but I had definitely played like a couple Final Fantasy games growing up on my Game Boy, but I literally don't even remember what they were because I was 10 and could not comprehend a story at the time, apparently. So when I got older and started playing 14, that's when everybody was like, hey, you'd enjoy this game much more if you checked out the others and understood the references. And so I've been going back and playing some of them, but I really appreciate the remakes because it kind of lets me experience these stories with like the modern QOL that I guess I'm like kind of used to. So
nice. Sarah?
So I got into Final Fantasy from Kingdom Hearts, actually. Like I knew that there were Final Fantasy characters in Kingdom Hearts. So that got me interested, but when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to play them. So the only Final Fantasy that my parents let me play, they got me Final Fantasy III for the DS. And then I just started playing a lot more older Final Fantasies as I got into streaming. And Final Fantasy VII is what actually got me to like turn-based. So, yeah.
Nice. You know who's next, Kylie?
I want to say the first Final Fantasy game I had ever played was Final Fantasy XIII. That was like my first intro into Final Fantasy, and I had never played a game like that in my life. And it wasn't until I started streaming that I started to get into other Final Fantasy games. Like Spofie, I started with Final Fantasy XIV for streaming. That was the very first game I ever streamed on my channel and fell in love. And then the audience that came with that told me, oh, you should play, Final Fantasy X. Love that. Final Fantasy VII, love that. And now I'm here on this journey to hopefully play every Final Fantasy game on my stream.
Midna.
I'm the same way. I started with Final Fantasy 13. It was just through my best friend in high school. She was getting the game and I thought she had great taste in games and I had no idea what Final Fantasy was. So I was like, okay, I'm going to also buy this game because the main character looks really pretty. So yeah, I had, again, no idea what Final Fantasy was, didn't know what turn-based stuff was because I grew up very much like a Nintendo kid and I was very new to PlayStation and RPGs outside of Zelda, but it's literally one of my favorite games now. It's probably one of the coolest combat systems, so I'm really glad that I started with that one. And then shortly after, I started playing Final Fantasy 14 because I was already into MMOs like WoW, and then I switched over. And then when I started streaming, I was mostly variety, and then I started bringing in Final Fantasy 14 content. And again, much like Kylie, people were like, hey, have you played these other titles? Which I hadn't. It was only 13 and 14. But I've now played Final Fantasy 4, 6, the original 7 after the remake, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah. So now I'm like really ingrained in the Final Fantasy universe. So
Nice. Jahara.
I mean, for me, like so many of the rest of you, I'm just like, I feel like I sound a little redundant now, but I started.
It's okay. I'll be different. Don't worry.
Right? I'm like, because it's funny because every time I mention it on stream, people are like, why are you playing these games? I'm just like, it's actually, you know what? I don't think anyone else is like this. I started by playing 14 and then I'm like, I guess we're all like this. So I started playing 14. Because I was playing a different game, RPGs before, but I would always be sad when like they would end. And then my husband was like, you should play an MMO. The story just continues forever. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. And I started playing 14, fell in love, got caught up and was like, so I hear there's like more of these. And everyone was like, girl, you have no idea. So then we started playing. So since then I have played similar to Midna, outside of the Pixel remaster. So I've done 6, 7, I'm playing 8 right now, 9, 10, 10, 2, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Yeah, we're working our way through that.
nice.
Dang, you're making
yeah.
progress.
Thank you. It's been a couple years.
Good work.
And as for me, I did not start off by playing Final Fantasy XIV. I started off by playing Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. I may be aging myself at this point, but I grew up with 3 older brothers at the time, and I would walk by the TV because we had one TV, and then I would walk by. I was like, what are these pixels and why does this look very intriguing to me? And they're like, well, this is Final Fantasy and you can't play it because you don't know how to read yet. So I definitely learned how to read so I can play Final Fantasy. I would never have played the game if I, didn't see it and got told to read. And I was like, I had no encouragement to read, but I want to play this game. And then from there, like I just went on, obviously not until launch because I was still young at the time, but I played all of the ones on Super Nintendo, the ones that were released in North America at the time. And then I had Final Fantasy VII was out when I was transitioning over to homeschool. And so it was like the perfect game for me to like get into. And then after that, I started playing every single Final Fantasy on launch. But yeah, I'm the one that did not start off with 14. I have been starting from the ground up and everyone's like, what got you into Final Fantasy? I was like, I don't know. I walked by a TV and said that one. But since we are definitely here for Final Fantasy VII, though this was not on the list of topics we were going to do, I realized we don't have any reason of what got you to actually play Remake, because all of you all started with Final Fantasy 14 or 13. So what actually got you to say, hey, Remake looks cool, I want to get into that? So anyone can go first, and then you can go from there.
Yeah.
Okay, or all at once. All at once.
It's probably gonna happen a lot. It's okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kylie.
Okay. Well, basically, I think I was already going to jump into Final Fantasy VII, the original, but then literally, I'm not kid you not, 1 week later, they started to announce more information about it. So I was like, wait, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to play the remake first. Probably not the best idea, but I did it anyways. I played the remake, but that got me even more interested to play the original. So I just heard information. It was just like right time for me where I was like, oh, this game looks amazing. So I'm just going to wait. I'm going to play remake. And then after that, I'll play the original. That's my story. He goes.
I heard both Spofie. Okay.
Yeah, I can go. I honestly was really scared to play FF7 on stream because I just knew that it was like so beloved to so many people. And I was like, oh my gosh, what if I don't like it? And then I upset people. I don't know. I had like a whole like existential crisis. So then when the remake came out, I was like, oh, hey, brand new game. There's like less pressure behind playing this. I'm gonna go play it, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I heard Jahara say something too. Then Sarah and Midna can go after.
Okay, cool.
I was like, I'm not leaving anyone out.
For me, and in the same vein as like Spofie, this sort of upset a few people. When I started playing like the standalone titles, and I would play just based on what people told me to play, rather than like playing in any kind of order, just based on popularity. And obviously 7 is extremely popular. But to be honest, I didn't actually start playing video games like on my own, not just at parties, until like 2017. So everyone's like, 7, you have to play 7. And I was like, I'd like never played a game with graphics that old before. So I was like, I don't wanna. And like right when we were discussing that, remake came out, and I was like, now I'll play. Like literally, it was just like, oh, okay. Well, now that like it looks beautiful, now I'll play. Just like hands up, I'm sorry.
No, I'm right there with you. I know
I
it
have
like
that
upsets
in it
people,
too.
but if you don't have the nostalgia, it's harder to jump into older games.
Yeah.
Okay. Midna, what about you? What made you play 7?
So I had an interest in 7 just overall because I know how beloved the game is specifically, but at the time this was like before I started playing like the older games, because for me I was very used to modern graphics. So yeah, kind of same reason as like Jahara, just didn't really have that appreciation or interest to go back that far because I was just so used to a certain look. But luckily, I mean, when Remake came out, I was already interested because by then I was a Square Enix and Final Fantasy fan, and I'm going to play anything that they release. And luckily, it gave me an interest to actually like start going back and experiencing the older Final Fantasy titles. And when I did eventually get to 7, I had a newfound appreciation for older graphics, and I fully understood the love behind Final Fantasy VII. And I don't regret like going into Remake first at all, because if I hadn't played Remake, I probably wouldn't have gone to the original 7. So just learning about the whole story now, I have like a newfound excitement for discovering what they're going to be adding to Rebirth. And like, I want to go and replay Remake so I can kind of pick and see like details that I probably missed the first time I played without any Final Fantasy VII knowledge. So yeah.
Nice. And Sarah?
So I have a couple of reasons, but I will say I also relate to the graphic thing. Like, I was very hesitant to play OG Final Fantasy VII. In fact, for some reason, I think I tried playing it like 3 times before I actually played it to completion. Once I got to like a certain part, which is actually the part that they cover in the demo, I was hooked. But I think I played 7 like right before Remake was either announced or came out. I honestly don't remember if it was announced or not when I played original 7. But yeah, and also like knowing that a lot of the team from Kingdom Hearts was on the Remake team made me want to play it even more, because like I said, I'm like super into Kingdom Hearts. So Yeah, but I have like a very similar story to everyone else. Like it made me want to go back and play a bunch of older Final Fantasies and stuff too.
Nice. And here I come being the different one. It's so interesting. Like that's the thing that I love about it. And that's the thing that I love about just Final Fantasy in general and Final Fantasy VII Remake and soon to be Rebirth coming out is that everyone has their own reason to start playing it and found their own love for it to be able to get hooked on it. For me, I didn't have the graphics issues because at the time when the game came out, it was like the best graphics ever on the planet because it was like everything looked like that. I was like, oh my God, Square Enix actually loves to like push the envelope with their blocky hands. Like, this is so cool. I don't understand. And then it's just like, it was such an enjoyment going through the original at the time that it was without having all these wild graphics because you got to enjoy every single time you got to the cutscene, and every time it became even more, you know, what it's the norm now. And so I was like, oh my God, this is the part, there's a save point, there's something wild's gonna happen right now because there's gonna be a cutscene. And I will never forget, like in the original, like the thing that lives rent free in my head, it was just the best scene was Cloud going down on the bicycle. And the original, I was like, I like this guy, he's my favorite. But it's just really cool, and that's what the cool thing about it is that it doesn't matter when you jump into Final Fantasy or Final Fantasy VII, like there's still that love years later for the original, which is great. But the original was long ago, and remake was a few years ago, but Rebirth is in a couple of days at this point. What is everybody most excited for? I'm gonna start off with Midna this time for Rebirth.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you chose me because I was like, gold saucer. I'm so excited for the gold saucer. I love like amusement parks and theme parks, you know, like I'm a huge fan of just those in real life. So when I discovered like the gold saucer in like Final Fantasy 13, again, that was my first Final Fantasy experience. When I went into the gold saucer in the original, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be like the best thing when we eventually get to it in remake, because I love little mini games, and it's such a nice break from the main quest, and it's just it's nice to just feel like a kid again, especially with how the mini games go. But yeah, that's my number one thing that I'm most excited about, aside from everything else that there is to be excited about.
Sarah.
Oh,
I'm like mixing it up because I see who's talking.
It's a hard question because there's so many things to be excited about. I'll say just very briefly, my number one is Zach. I'm most excited to see Zach. But I would say I really am excited about like the new like relationship system, like how you can grow bonds with the characters, like just being able to do like side quests and stuff to get to know them better. Like outside of the original, like I feel like the original, what they do is they like take the original and then they make it a lot more detailed. And I'm just really excited to see like all of the new personality and stuff that gets added into Rebirth and see how they do everything from the original.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that stuff in games. I love when they put in some sort of like bond system with characters where you get to like specifically like build relationship with them and see their backstory as you want. Like, I don't know, it's such a nice experience. I know in like Final Fantasy 16, there were like a couple side quests where you got to like see people's backstories, and I was like, give me more. Yeah.
I mean, I agree. Yeah, I can go. I agree with the relationship system, because in remake they had something akin to it, but like my community is like huge on like no backseating and no spoilers, so nobody told me that like doing side quests or how often I interacted with characters would have any like bearing on my playthrough. And so I was really shook when things like happened that had to do with like how I acted before, and I was like, what? So like now I like that it's like really laid out for you that like you can choose about like how your relationship goes. It's going to add this lovely level of excitement and anxiety for me to be the people pleaser that I am, so that I'm 100% relationship with every single character.
Yup.
Like we're all going to be
Feel
best
that.
friends, and we're all going to go to the Gold Saucer on a single date together.
Yes, I want to date you all.
I don't know how you all can fit in the gondola, but okay, try it.
We're gonna act the game. We're all getting on the gondola, okay? So I am really excited for that.
Kylie?
Yeah, y'all said a lot of good points. I love the relationship aspect. I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about the gold saucer, like Midna said. And like Sarah said, like there's so many things to be excited about. I'm really excited to see what no spoilers, but I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with the story. Because I feel like this kind of change, I don't know what kind of changes they're going to do. I've just heard that they're going to change it a little bit, but that's great for both newcomers to the game as well as like veterans. I feel like it kind of makes like all the new mini games that we were talking about, and the story be kind of refreshing, as well as newcomers can kind of just like jump into this, and I don't know, like be able to experience it fresh for the like first time. Like everybody's going to be experiencing it. But I feel like the story is what I'm looking forward to the most, as well as like being able to see like the new characters that haven't been introduced yet into Rebirth. So that's what I'm excited about.
Nice. Yeah, I'm like all of you all combined. Plus, I'm way too excited to 100% every single piano song.
Oh.
Just spend hours and hours playing the piano mini game. Even in the demo, I sat there. I'm like, I'm not leaving this piano until I get 100% on Tifa's song. This is my mission in life. But besides that, yeah, it's like it's so many. Like Kylie said, there's going to be so many different changes that people that are brand new to the series and people that aren't brand new to the series are going to be like, I have no idea what's going to happen. Of course, the people that played the original have a little bit of a leg up, but it doesn't ever like affect the experience of people it is. And like that's a really cool thing about Rebirth, is that even if you so happen to not have played Remake, you can also play Rebirth and just have a whole set story, because I think that's one of the things that they really wanted to make sure that happened, is that you can pick up and play and then eventually go back if you really wanted to. Another thing that I'm really excited to see is, we already saw her a little bit in the DLC, but Vincent and Yuffie, because in the original, they were people that you could miss. And so it's nice to see that they are adding them to the main story. So I wanted to see what you all's thoughts are about that, having Vincent and Yuffie. Sarah?
Okay. I had a very hard time getting Yuffie to join my party in Original 7. So I'm very excited that, she's probably just gonna, I don't know, we might have to like do something maybe to like initiate her. I'm not really sure how it's gonna work, but it seems like, yeah, she's gonna join. So I'm really excited about that. And then I think the Vincent thing is even more exciting because he's very mysterious. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see them really like flesh out his character,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, there's a lot of names that I hear all the time and I don't know who they are, and I'm so ready. like I genuinely know nothing about Zach. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
It's okay.
It'll be fine.
All good.
You will hopefully soon know more about Zach.
I
Yes.
know, I'm so ready.
Anyone else? I don't.
Well, for me, I had the fortune of finding them both like accidentally, because I just like to explore everything. And I'm so excited to see them. I'm not sure how they'll be introduced, but whether or not like you had them on your team really impacted like what could happen in the story when you played the original. So I'm really curious to see if they'll include those story beats in Rebirth, and where and how, since we all know that they plan on changing the story. So like how that's going to come through, like No spoilers. Hard to say things.
Yeah.
just, like, just be like, don't say that part because I'm so excited. Like, there's some stuff Yuffie being in my party changed a lot of how I perceive the game and my overall experience. So I'm so glad that she's gonna be here in so many ways, Yuffie. But I'm most excited for Vincent also because
You doing that? I knew exactly what you were referring to. Jahara has a vendetta against Yuffie. No spoilers, though.
And then Vincent's just seeing him even from behind in the trailer is just like the beautiful, nearly 4K eye candy. It's a gift to all of us, both new and old.
That's for sure.
Yes.
I feel like I'm excited just to be able to learn more about them. It's been a bit since I've played Remake and the original, so I can vaguely remember some of their backstory. So I'd like to be able to like get more information just about them. I mean, I was lucky enough to play Final Fantasy VII, the original, on stream, so I had help to get Yuffie and Vincent. I don't know what the game would be like without them, honestly. So I hope they're more involved in the story, like you guys were saying. Like, I'm really hoping that I'm really happy that they're maybe like pushing them more to be like, hey, like these are characters. They're in the game. But
yeah, I'm very curious to see how they're gonna integrate the characters into the main story because coming across them is a little bit random, especially Vincent, but I don't want to like talk about anything spoiler related, but Vincent is one of the most interesting characters, I think, and the fact that he is missable in the original is kind of crazy because if you do his backstory and stuff, has a very interesting story. I mean, same with Yuffie, she has really awesome development, and I enjoyed her own story. So I'm very curious to see how they're integrating it and if they're changing it or adding more specifically to Vincent for me though. So
Yeah, it's always been wild to me that they were missable because I was always the person that 100% everything growing up with that stuff. So it's like, oh, you realize they're never in any of the original cutscenes, right? I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It's because they're technically like DLC. And then when Advent Children came out, it was like, who are those people? Like when it's like, wait a minute.
I remember a few people were like, who's that? I'm like, what do you mean, who's that?
It's so funny because like I'm the total opposite. I'll like put blinders on and just walk in a straight line through a game, like, and not check things sometimes. So I think I probably would have missed them if I played the original.
Yeah, I'm like that too. I usually have a more like linear experience. I've gotten better, but yeah.
Yeah, hopefully that's done very, very so you cannot miss it because like Minda said, like Vincent is a very, very, very interesting character. So I can't wait. He even had his own game, Dirge of Cerberus. So there's a lot to him that I hope we get in Rebirth. But with characters on the topic, it's time to do something a little fun, and I say fun. With all the characters that the main roster of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, we know is Cloud, Aerith, Tifa, Yuffie, Red 13, Kate Sith, and Vincent.
Yuffie Barrett.
Yes, Yuffie Barrett. Yep. And Zach. I'm also gonna add a little Jesse in there, add a little just everybody from the 7 main circle of bubble. We won't go into. We'll add Sephiroth in there too. But
oh yeah,
we'll add a little Sephiroth in there too. I am going to list off, and again, anyone in chat or in the comments can by all means play along. This is just all for fun. Name a character, and you're gonna tell me, are they S tier, B tier, A tier, and that's it, because no one's C tier. Come on, let's be real here. It's Final Fantasy VII.
Don't murder me, chat.
All right, so number 1, Zach.
S tier.
S.
S.
If you know who he is, S tier.
The highest of tiers.
Plus,
Yeah,
plus,
the
plus,
highest.
plus, yes, chat. Put it in there. Thank you. Triple S's.
Triple
S
S.
times infinity. My 7-year-old let me know that infinity is the highest number that you can't go beyond. She said so. So
Like Jahara said.
What was your rating, Midna?
For who?
Zach?
Zach? S.
Okay.
Easy.
Because why for you? I'm
Well,
picking
'cause
people
I-
randomly.
Well, because I played Crisis Core and I finally learned about Zach. And I don't want to talk about spoilers because there are spoilers, but S tier. Yeah.
Awesome.
Play Crisis Core.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
actually do that if you have the time.
I'm so curious now. Everyone's making like funny eyes when they talk about him. I'm like, oh my
Spofie's
gosh.
like,
what-
I hope you understand soon, Spofie.
No, I'm so
Yes.
interested now. I'm like, maybe I should play Crisis Core. Everyone's making
You
these
should.
like little
Do
sexy
it.
side eyes when they're talking about.
I don't play poker. I'm so sorry.
I could go on and on and on about all these characters, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played. But like, play Crisis Core. It's
Yeah.
very worth it.
It
Alright.
enhances your experience a lot, I think. Yeah.
I relate to him a lot. That's all. Okay.
I feel that.
All right.
To me, he's like the kind of character like I enjoyed. I mean, I enjoyed Final Fantasy VII and the story and Crisis Core story so much, but it was something about his character that he's like the best friend that you always want in your circle, and I felt that playing the games. I just loved his personality and just what he stood for, and that's why I think he's S tier. He just made the game much more enjoyable. Like, it was like a breath of fresh air every time I would play, because I'm like, oh, I get to see Zach today for my stream.
Right.
Yeah.
Joy can contest. I met his voice actor and I burst into tears because that's how much he's my favorite character.
She didn't know.
It was super
And-
embarrassing. And then I hugged him immediately. And then I was like, I'm so sorry. That was a gut reaction.
And that's the
I'm not
beautiful
weird.
thing about Caleb is that he literally exudes Zach. So when you like hear him and talk to him, he's just like, I see why you are Zach, because you literally are Zach. So well, that was obvious. I had to start off with Zach.
He's the best.
So now I'm gonna go to the other side of the spectrum, and just someone else randomly that popped in my head. Red 13.
This is hard. 'cause I want to give everyone an S.
I know. I want
wanna-
everyone to be
okay.
S.
I give him like
Okay,
maybe a B just for now, because I feel like in the original, like, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot more I can learn about him. Like, he's
Yeah.
a phenomenal character, and I just don't know if I got enough of that in the original.
remake.
Like, he's and in remake, of course, because like they are fleshing out all the characters, and I think he could be like a really, really, really amazing character, and we just like didn't know it. We don't know it yet.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
he
how I
could
felt
easily be
too.
S tier. Yeah.
I'm gonna say B as well, but mostly based on him being one of the characters in comparison that I know the least about. Currently, I mean, obviously we feel like all of the characters are adorable or hot or cute or like lovable, but like they're all amazing characters that are really fleshed out. That's why 7 is so iconic. But as far as Red being is the character I know least about, I did freak out playing Remake because I played Remake first, and I did not expect him to talk. So that was a moment for all of them. I was like, oh, okay.
I think I would give him an A just because I agree with what everyone's saying, but there was like, and I'm not going to spoil it, but there's this one scene in the original that just really stands out to me, that I really like emotionally connected with. Like, I just felt very invested in it. And I also just love like Cosmo Canyon and like I don't know, so I just like associate him with that and the music and everything. So I would give him an A personally, but I mostly agree with everything. Yeah, I'm excited to learn more about him and see all of those like scenes in Rebirth.
Yeah, he definitely has as much knowledge as say another person has in the game, but he never really stood out as much as everyone's favorite flower girl. But it will be nice to be able to see him more in the forefront, and having probably voice acting and all that stuff will help to be able to push those punches of the story, because he does have a very nice backstory and everything like that. So hopefully we see that in Rebirth. So the next one, Kate Sith. No spoilers, chat. No spoilers anymore.
B is the lowest we can go.
B.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that.
Yet. Is this the tier list from the original or just remake?
This is just in general.
Remake?
In general,
Oh,
I
We don't know him
Okay.
yet
Just
in
in general.
remake.
Yeah, true. We don't know him yet.
If you don't know them yet, then you can say B. And if you do, then
He's a very unique character.
he
Unique.
I feel like I wore the Kate Sith ears a lot in FFXIV, and like that's an S tier for me.
There you go.
Do it up, Sophie.
Yeah.
So how about Barrett?
I thought I had an immediate answer and then I didn't. Let me think about it.
I think he's an A for me
I'm gonna go with A.
I would say an A.
I'm gonna go with A2.
because I think he's so cool, but I also don't necessarily relate to a lot of the things that he went through in the first game. Like I don't know, it was like I was a little bit detached from it, but at the same time I was like, yeah, you're super cool.
Yeah,
I feel like
because
he's gonna
you have
shine more in Rebirth.
Spofie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think
You didn't play the original, right? I just want to make sure.
Just
Okay,
just the first.
I just wanted
remake,
to make sure. Okay. What about you, Midna?
I don't know. He's an S. He's an S for me. I'm thinking really deeply on it. I really love Barrett. Yeah, he's an S. He's fantastic.
heck yeah.
I keep trying to keep my ratings to what we haven't learned so far in Rebirth. If I include what I know from like overall, I would call him an S tier because I know where his story goes.
Yeah.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
as he's currently presented for people who've just played remake, I would say A. But I really relate to Barrett because I'm a parent of a child right around the age of Marlene. So I just got super emotional.
Oh no!
Going through like what they're going through while also being responsible for a child. Ugh, the chills, the pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So S tier considering everything. Look at
Yeah, I'm
Anyway,
kind of the
I
same
wanna
as
talk about
you.
it.
I'm kind of the same as you though with like my love for Barrett, but like as the child, like that's like I view him as like the
Aw.
parental figure. So yeah, opposite.
Yeah, Barrett is always a bright, shining light. It definitely was hard to get a handle on him at first, because when you first meet him, like he's trying to put Cloud in his place in remake. He's like, you're gonna do this job. We're gonna save the planet. We're gonna do everything's gonna be great. And then you're like later down the line, and then when they start loosening up and the whole character roster starts loosening up, Barrett is definitely something special. S for special.
special.
All right, so since we're on the topic of something that's kind of close to Seventh Heaven, Tifa.
S.
S.
Yes.
S, triple S, quadruple
Yeah.
S, S.
Quadruple S.
I'm S. I'm a huge fan of Tifa as a character, especially because I don't know if it's worth mentioning, but like I didn't actually like her in remake, and I feel like I owe her for that.
No.
What can you, like, without spoilers? Can you
why?
speak? Yeah, I was gonna say, can you speak on that without spoilers?
Without understanding her motivations, and like obviously not everyone's going to have the same experience with the game, but without understanding her motivations or her backstory, I absorbed a lot of Tifa's actions in remake as friend, like the girl from like the small neighborhood that thinks she's super hot because everybody has a crush on her. and because everybody does, but like she knows it, but like she kind of acts like she doesn't. And that's just how I was reading her actions. That's not necessarily to say that's why, but that's why I was just kind of like, I don't know. I think I felt like that was the reason that she treated and talked to Cloud the way that she did. And I wasn't really for it at the time. Or it could have been jealousy. I don't know. She's super hot. So
She's hot, kind,
I don't want to get that introspective right now.
What's not to love?
There's like something about Tifa's theme that I think my brain just goes blank when it comes on. I'm like, I love you. I don't know what you're saying, but I'm crying for some reason.
It's definitely, her theme is definitely has, the older I get, has hit me harder than normal. Because at first it's always like another character's theme. Everyone should know which characters I'm talking about at this point. But when I went to see the Final Fantasy VII Orchestra, it wasn't that other character's main theme song. It was Tifa, where I was just like, like, it's just such a beautiful song. And you can just hear how like soft and innocent it is, and how like it just resonates Tifa's personality the more you listen to it. And so, yeah, it's definitely a theme for the eye sockets of tears. But since
a theme for the eye sockets.
I don't know. Since they are definitely going to be in Rebirth, what about Biggs?
Huh.
I would say A. I think.
I think I would say B, mainly just because I don't know much about him.
Yeah, maybe B. No, you're right.
But I love him.
I give him a
He's
B.
Yeah, he's really nice, but
But I want to
He's
know
really
more.
nice. But
B plus. Are we friend zoning him? Like what?
What's he like? He's really nice. Oh,
He is. He's nice.
he is.
well, I guess it's a good thing he's in Rebirth. maybe he won't be so nice.
It's not that. Somebody also said he looks like Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And like, I also
that
can't really
image in my
unsee
head.
that. I'm sorry if you hadn't heard that. I apologize. Are you looking it up, Kylie?
Oh my gosh.
No.
Yeah, he's definitely, I'm very interested to see what is going on with Biggs. And maybe he's gonna be the villain because he's too nice.
No.
Did you find it, Kylie?
No.
Uh-huh. What
sorry.
about Hojo? In a perspective of the character, not your feelings towards Hojo.
Oh, what, we're just taking things back
The
now?
bottom. Z.
If
bottom.
the idea was to make a character where when you
Negative
look
Z.
at them, you feel an oily disgust, then
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
because you only have to look at him to be like, gross, disgusting, bad feelings.
Yes. There's the human example of the word disgust. That's yeah. Yeah. They should put his face in the dictionary. Just disgust. Oh, okay. I see it.
Yeah, like
Yes.
Jess said, S tier hatred. Yes.
I had to specify that one because I knew everyone was gonna go like with new letters of the alphabet. but it's for a good thing. It's always good to have a great person like Hojo to make you put him in Z.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job
Mhm.
at that.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Mhm.
mhm.
They've
He's
elicited
great
very
for
strong
that
emotions
letter,
from all of
yes.
us.
Ugh.
Okay, so we kind of already talked about how we feel about Yuffie and Vincent, so I'm gonna leave them out of the tier list temporarily. What about Cloud?
Yes.
S. S.
A.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
A for me right now.
A.
Tell us why.
Ooh.
Tell us why.
I
Yeah.
can't. I can't because of I can't
That's
because of
fair.
what I know.
Mhm.
And there's a reason why I put Zach in S and Cloud in A. And I'm very confident in that. Yeah. I can't explain because spoilers. But if you know, you know.
Yeah. I'm
Fair.
interested to know Spofie, since she's only played the remake, why you put Cloud in A.
I think it just
Yeah.
takes me a while to open up to moody Final Fantasy pro tags.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's
Totally
just gonna take me the whole game, I think.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm
like
fine.
That's fair. Sometimes.
He is pretty moody.
Yeah, he's a little sassy.
Mhm.
I'm definitely biased. That man is like the toppest of the tier list for me. I am just biased as all get out.
Same.
I'm laughing at chat being like, A for the mere sin of not being Zach.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
This is cheating, but I think of
It's
Zach as
true.
like S plus 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 S tier, like like more than S, and then I think of Cloud as S, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's
I
like
agree with that.
cheating. I don't know.
It's cheating. It's not cheating.
We just need a triple S category and then the S because I understand what you
No,
mean.
I think
yeah.
with this entire roundtable, I think there's a Zach category and then there's everybody else. Because that's what it's looking like. Except Spofie's like, I don't know who that guy is.
Well, I'm so intrigued now, though, because like I obviously avoided spoilers, but just hearing the way that everybody talks about him, I'm like, who is this man? Why does he have a stranglehold on everybody?
We're not overhyping him.
No, I'm about
So
to
I felt when
like.
people first talked about Graha Tia in 14. I was like, why do you guys
Oh,
care?
I mean, here's the thing. I'm still very new to like 7 as a whole in the universe. Like I only played Crisis Core when like the remake of it came out essentially. But yeah, he was not a character that I was expecting to love so much. Like I didn't think anything of him originally. But because again, going back to that game, and obviously like the original 7, like yeah, he was a very unexpected character that I fell in love with.
I think it's
Oh, very good.
interesting how this isn't an if you know, you know situation, how it all leads back to Zach. Even when talking about other
Yeah.
things.
Mm.
But what about Aerith?
S.
S. We love Aerith.
I like Tifa more. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't want to keep going back to Crisis Core. S and Crisis Core. But like overall A. Okay. I need to stop talking about Crisis Core. But S and Crisis Core A overall. Just because I love Tifa so
agree.
much. So
I separate the Aerith from Crisis Core and Remake than the Aerith from the original. They feel like different characters to me, so it's a bit odd. As I know her now, as like the impression I know her now, I would give her an S tier. But also I like put her on the line between A and S. I would say. I think when you learn more about her, she's definitely an S tier. I know for some people she's an S tier regardless, so it just depends on you.
And Spofie?
Yeah, I think both Tifa and Aerith, like having just played the remake, you're kind of left in a place where you're like, okay, like I have like an idea of what's going on now, but you can tell that there's so much more to it that it's almost hard to like pass any judgment on either of them because there's like such this, I mean, obviously it's Cloud and his story and whatever, but like you can obviously tell that a huge part of it is about Tifa and Aerith's story, and I just don't know where that's gonna go.
Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
always interested
Fair.
to see like Spofie's opinion because she
Right?
only
Right.
has remakes, so I'm just like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
For me, I did not like Aerith when I played the original that much. I was a Tifa girl, but when I played remake, I fell in love with Aerith absolutely. I think it's because like I understand the perspective of her and what her story is and how it's going. And where it could possibly lead in Rebirth. But there's something about Aerith to me that stood out to the point where she's without spoiling anything, she definitely crafts the characters you love the most to being the best versions of themselves.
Yeah.
And so
Mhm.
I love characters when they do that, to be able for us to love the other characters. And so I didn't really get that when playing the original. So then I see that in her in remake. And so that's why I was like, I'm now an Aerith girly. I'm a everybody girly, but I now actually can't be like, oh, you know, it's Aerith, whatever. But it's just like, no,
Yeah.
I think once you realize her whole story and her whole like purpose and everything, yeah, she definitely flew off the tier list for me. So I'm looking forward to seeing her in Rebirth because of that.
Yeah.
I think it's so interesting. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say that like we can have such complex feelings about these characters, and I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, when I played remake, I actually liked Aerith a lot more than I liked Tifa in terms of just general personality. But personally, like I don't feel any like kinship or like relatability. I don't feel like my personality is and my motivations and thoughts are nowhere near Aerith's, and because of that, that just lowers her in my mind because I'm like, she's someone that I admire, but I don't feel I can like relate to. And even though like I liked Tifa less when I played remake, I do relate to her a little bit more. So she was like a little bit higher on like the tier list in general. But it's so cool that Square can like make these characters for us that like we feel these complex emotions about
Yeah.
across this whole franchise. So
I actually think it's funny you say that because I was literally about to say that I like Aerith because I relate to her. Like I find that she's kind of quiet and like maybe like a little socially awkward and takes like a lot for her to come out of her shell. She seems pretty comfortable with like Cloud though, but I feel like I definitely relate to Aerith a lot more than I do Tifa, so that's really funny.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I loved her a lot when she picked up the chair and you know.
She's
That was a
so
turning
exciting.
mhm.
So I'm not sure if Spofie will be able to speak on this character, but I have to add them to the list because of my bias. But Sid? Hello? No, I'm just kidding.
Go quiet.
You're not gonna like
I'm
my
trying to
answer.
decide.
Joy is my best
just-
friend. I don't want her to disown me, but B.
Yeah.
I didn't like Sid when I was first introduced to him. It's been through more story and variety that I am interested to see how he will be portrayed in
Yeah.
Rebirth, because when you meet him in OG, again, no spoilers, because there's no voice acting or anything like that, you kind of interpret. It's kind of like reading somebody's text when they don't have emojis or LOLs. Like, he was really grumpy. And I was just like, meh, you're so grumpy. And like, I think when he's voice acted, that could be like an endearing grumpy, but I was definitely reading it as like butthead grumpy. I played the game, so that's why he's B tier for me. I need to learn more about him. I know that he's one of Joy's favorite characters, and I respect that so much.
I understand he's not everyone's cup of tea, but yes.
Yeah. Is
go
B
ahead.
the lowest
Yeah.
that we're doing? Yeah, I would
Z
rank it.
for Hojo.
And then-
I would give C
Is B the lowest?
but I don't like. I think I'm gonna like him in Rebirth. Like I definitely think he's gonna be more likable to me in Rebirth. But I'm the same way. I felt like in the original, I felt like he was just kind of mean. Like, well, maybe not like to the party, but like to I forget her name. There was like a woman that he was very
Yes.
mean to.
The
I did not like
assistant.
that. It just really rubbed me the wrong way. But I think he'll be better in Rebirth for me. So
Yeah.
I hope so. He's a B for me too, for that exact reason. I didn't really
Yeah.
I didn't like how he treated. And I, like what Jahara said, you can't really understand the emotion behind the text as it wasn't voice acted. So
Mhm.
hopefully that changes in Rebirth. We'll be able to hear him, and maybe it'll be
yeah.
different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mhm.
surprised Sarah gave him a B since he's in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, yeah,
In
sure.
Kingdom Hearts, he's an ass. Like he's actually really Sid Highland in Kingdom Hearts is like 10 out of 10, but he's nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, I know.
He is my favorite Sid. I will say that. No, I'm sorry. He's my second favorite Sid.
Yeah.
Out of all the Sids, he's my second favorite Sid.
I love Final Fantasy 16 Sid so much.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
14
Okay,
Sid
third
too.
favorite Sid. I was thinking of 14 Sid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like his cranky, angry old man vibes, and yeah, just this brashness. So he's an A for me. I'm excited for him. I like the mean characters.
Yeah. And then I think the last one for the character tier list, Sephiroth.
I mean, it's in his name.
An S, yeah.
Yeah.
S for Sephiroth.
As for Sephiroth, he invented the letter, as far as I'm concerned.
He's a great villain. He really is a great villain.
Yeah.
Sexy S villain.
I mean, I feel like the 60-inch bust down that he's got going already gives him an S. Besides character aside, just so much hair. So good.
It's very nice. Even in like
It's very
in the
lovely.
in the Rebirth demo, like you just see like every single strand of his hair.
Yeah.
I'm just like, ooh, it looks so soft. I want to touch it.
Do you
That's
take biotin
honestly-
supplements?
That's honestly my favorite part about Final Fantasy, especially like the graphics and the CGI. But I mean, in this, he looks beautiful. It's always the hair, how the hair looks in all the cutscenes. They have just like mastered hair. So yeah.
Spofie, what about you?
The Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have like character wise. I feel like I don't have a ton other like because it was just kind of starting with the remake. But yeah, I mean, in the Rebirth demo and the trailer, he was looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm excited. We can do an S for looking forward to more Sephiroth, I guess.
Does anyone like Ever Crisis with his short hair?
Yeah, he looks
I
so
know
cute.
what I've seen his
Yeah.
screenshots, but I've never played it. I love short hair Sephiroth too. He can rock both.
Baby.
He's been
He should
growing
just
it
go
since
short.
then.
Maybe then all of that trauma will go away. He'll be a little bit nicer.
I have to
Is
give
it
a
in his
shout
hair?
out to Scarlett because she's my wife, even if she's horrible.
Oh yeah, Scarlett's
Oh, yeah,
amazing.
Scarlet.
I love her so much. I
Yeah.
love her theme too.
Scarlet.
We'll definitely come back to characters, but that was just a little fun thing because I will say Final Fantasy VII has by far some of the greatest cast members ever invented in gaming history, at least in my opinion. And so even if you dislike a character or like a character, they're just so well written, and so it's really hard to like really list them. But we, of course, everyone has their favorites.
Yeah.
On the topic of characters, we're going to be getting some summons happening in Rebirth. We were going to do a summon tier list, but there's so many, and then I don't know if we know every summon that's going to be in Rebirth at this time. So I will do a whole roundabout thing and just asking everyone like what summons they like the best in 7. So we're keeping it in 7, not like other Final Fantasies because they kind of overlap, but some don't. What's your favorite 7 summon, and what? If you haven't heard anything yet, who do you hope to be in Rebirth?
I am always a Shiva stan, so
I agree with Spelf. I'm gonna have to go with Shiva on this one. I didn't actually engage with the summons as much in 7 as I did in some of the other titles, but knowing some of them that are there, I love Shiva. Wherever she appears, she is my queen. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Shiva being like my top summon. I'm excited to see her. We're gonna hug. She'll try and kill me, you know. I don't, whichever.
Odin in every game.
Oh,
If
I
he's
love
there, I am
Odin.
excited. He is my king. I love him so much. So yeah, Odin.
I have a bone to pick with Odin right now.
I'm so
Oh wait, I feel like I know. Wait, I need to know. Now I have to talk to you about 8 because I feel like I know.
I think Shiva for me too. And this is kind of silly, but I also like this is just 7. Actually, I don't know if this is in the original, but I think it's a Moogle summon. Or is it a Moogle or a Chocobo? I can't remember. There's like a really cute summon in 7 Remake that I was using.
There's a chocobo.
I know
Yeah, is it the big chocobo?
Is it the fat chocobo?
I think maybe
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm very
like anything
certain, yeah.
cute.
Oh yeah,
But I
the
also like
Choco Mog
Choco.
thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Bahamut Zero? Bahamut Zero?
Yeah.
Bahamut? I think he looks freaking cool.
Yeah, Bahamut's always cool.
Yeah.
Bahamut is always cool. Baha, bro.
Wow, bro.
My favorite summon was in the original, but if it showed up in Rebirth, I would freak out because it was the most cinematic experience you can possibly imagine, and that was Knights of the Round Table.
Oh, yeah.
Never had that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be nice if they brought them in Rebirth, maybe.
Oh, that would be huge. That would be so cool to see, actually.
Yeah, it's just like so far we've seen so many different cool ones, and so definitely looking forward to seeing what you can find out in the world, the big world that is Rebirth. That is definitely coming out in a few days, and I'm getting nervous. I'm so excited. But for going back to characters, out of all the characters in the Final Fantasy VII universe, which character had the most impact on you and why? Without spoilers.
Mm.
That's hard. That's a hard one.
It's hard without spoilers.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly who it is and why, but there's just no way to explain it without spoilers.
Yeah.
Same.
So let me. I'm like maybe the
Can we
second,
say
the
just
character that had the second.
and then just say like look forward to it in Rebirth. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Although
mean,
we
if,
don't know what's
if
gonna
it's
happen in Rebirth.
yeah, we don't know, but
Oh,
yeah,
true.
Like a character, if you know, you know.
Or like,
Right.
okay, well then since it's really hard to like go into detail without spoilers, what about the character that had the most impact in like that had the most impact and how'd they make you feel versus like why they had an impact on you?
That's what also be a
okay.
spoiler for me.
I can give you a character that has the second most impact on me because it's and the reason because it's weird. It's not like spoilery too much or anything. Maybe
Okay.
it is. Gosh darn it. That's so hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Ooh.
I'll say- oh,
Okay. Go ahead.
okay. Without spoilers, I would say Red. I feel like I relate to his story on an emotional level. I feel very seen. He makes me feel very seen with his story. At least in the original. I don't know if it's gonna change or not. I hope it doesn't. But I feel like I relate to Red the most. He makes me feel seen.
That's a good example of how to say things without spoiling.
Yeah.
That was.
Mhm.
Well, that was perfect.
I would say mine's automatically non-spoiler, so I can just get it out of the way. I think it would probably be Aerith for me, just because I don't usually like connect with characters that have like a higher purpose or just are like seem kind of angelic in a way, which I guess like is how she kind of came across to me in a lot of ways in Remake. But like the game just does a really good job of like making you feel a lot of empathy towards her without even like saying things, you know?
Mhm.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, this question got us all super introspective. We're just like
I know.
feels like a therapy
Yeah.
session in a way. I'm just like,
Ready to dig deep without spoilers.
um Okay, I have two answers. One I can give you zero context on, and the other one I can give you a bit more context since I talked about it. First one, Zach, if you know, you know. Second one, Barrett. I would say Barrett, and again, for similar to the reason that I mentioned before, I relate a lot to characters. I feel like in a lot of these RPGs, especially like with how Square Enix has kind of made their parties, there's always like the like sort of teenaged or like young adult part of the party, and then there's like the adults in the party that have something a bit more at stake, usually like through like experience or like any sort of like parental or elder sort of feeling. And I feel like Barrett is that character, especially because he has Marlene. And because he has Marlene, I really felt in like what is at stake and how she comes into play in some of the scenes really gave me that extra layer of like worry for Barrett and like what was going on in the story. And not even like for his safety in general, but for like what happened to him, what could happen to him, therefore like what could happen to her, things like that. And from a parental perspective, I really relate to him. He's also the only Black character in the game, quiet part out loud. Like, so he really mattered to me in that way. Yeah,
You
feel like
did
I'm getting
it.
really emotional.
That was good. Yeah, mine is Zach. But I also feel like every character has impacted me in some way, or most of them at least. We even were saying like Hojo impacts us negatively. So yeah, I guess like I'll just say Zach, but I won't elaborate. Just really love him.
We should all just do this
Makes
again
you
when we've
feel
all
loved.
played.
Yeah.
Let's all do this again when
And then a
everyone's
super
played, when the
spoiler
game is
one.
out, because we really want to talk about him. It's very clear.
We really want
Yeah.
I do.
But we can't right now, so just understand.
And Midna, did you?
I mean, I'm in the same boat. It's Zach, but then also Cloud, but it's relating to Zach, and I don't want to go on about it. That's it. Just Zach. Everything's Zach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it would be Tifa. It's Tifa for me because she has her internal struggle of should I do something or should I not do something, and or I want to do good at something, but then I don't want the repercussions of things that could possibly happen, which is in the remake in this sense. So it's Spofie should understand what I'm talking about, where it's like she was always just like, I really got to do this, but I really don't want to. But yeah, there's just like, I've always related to Tifa because I feel like we're in the similar vein. Like when you understand her path in original, it's just like, oh, I am that kind of girl that she is, where it's just like everyone puts her up here, but then she puts herself down here. So it's like that kind of impact where it's like everyone's always like, oh, this is like Tifa's the best. Tifa, not saying people say it's about me, but it's like a relatable thing in some instances.
I said that about you. Yes.
But it's just like that thing where like I think everybody, especially as content creators, have had that situation where people have always put us higher in some certain aspects, but then you always put yourself lower. So she represents to me the imposter syndrome or the insecurity of the thing, when in all reality she is the baddest of the baddie, just like everyone here in this round table. So it's just like that's why she impacts me the most, because I see myself in her, because I do what Tifa does all the time.
That's relatable as heck.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All of us in here been like,
What's my answer? I was gonna.
But we have about like, I think the last topic, which is the big one, will take us the rest of our time here. But we can go off and talk off of each other. But why is now the best time to get into Final Fantasy?
So many
That's a big one.
reasons.
Yeah, there's so many.
Like Final Fantasy as a whole?
We'll
Final
stick to
Fantasy
Fantasy 7.
Okay, 7. Okay.
I have an answer I can put forth in my opinion. So I think it kind of relates to a lot of what we were saying before, where a lot of us originally, we hear from our communities that are really Final Fantasy focused, that 7 is a really iconic game, especially those of us that started with 14, right? But we are used to like a higher level of graphic. And like some people might look down on that, but I feel like it's a pretty universal experience for a lot of people who have started gaming more recently or are just used to playing games that are a bit newer in general. And so like I can understand the deterrent, but like I played Remake first because it felt more relatable to me visually, but playing Remake, and like, when I went to play it, I said, I don't plan on playing the original. Like I was pretty vehement about that. I was like, I think this will do what I need. Like I'm going to learn this story. It's going to be good. But I finished Remake and I was like, just kidding. I'm playing original immediately. Like I needed, it really like encourages you to go back and see how the original story is told because they are different. They are. And it's a completely different experience to play both. And I feel like now that the Rebirth is there, I don't think there's anything wrong with just playing Remake and Rebirth, but I think if you were to play both, that you would feel encouraged to play the original. Even if you didn't, like, there's going to be a third installment, and then you'll have the whole story. And it's iconic for a reason. Like, we can all be hipsters about it and be like, is it really that good? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Like, there's a reason so many people love the series is beloved. Before I knew anything about Final Fantasy, I knew the names Cloud, Aerith, and Tifa. I knew those character names before knowing anything about 7 because they're just so iconic in that way. So now with this available to everybody, I think it's just such a good time. I mean, there's Rebirth, there's Remake, there's Crisis Core Reunion, there's Ever Crisis. Like, if you don't want to play the original at this point, you really don't have to still get the full story through a modern lens, which is really cool.
It's so interesting too off that, Jahara, because I feel like playing the remake almost like creates nostalgia for you to go back and play the original because you have that basis for connection to the characters. And like that's sometimes what's hard going back to older games is like just getting past that initial, like, I don't know who any of these people are, like, you know. I will say for me too, kind of like Midna, I was a Nintendo girly like growing up. I never played, like, I didn't have a PlayStation, so I wasn't able to play PlayStation games. And so there are some challenges for me when it comes to like even just like PlayStation controllers and getting used to them as an adult. And I still remember when I sat down to play the FF7 remake demo for the first time, I was just amazed by how quickly everything clicked. Like they just, I don't know how or why, but they did a really good job of making it really comfortable, even if you're not like super familiar with like controller setups and stuff.
I also feel like going back to what Jahara was saying is there's so many games out. Like we have Crisis Core that was remastered. I believe that game was on the PSP. Not everybody had a PSP back then. So you can dive into the lore of that game. You have, obviously you have Remake, Rebirth is coming out. So you're able to play the same story. You'll be able to play the story now, where back then it was probably a lot harder to get to. So I feel like now that they've been able to modernize, I guess, some of the games to be able to envelop your, just, I guess, enrich your experience in the game. I feel like that's like a really good reason why you can now that you can jump into that, it makes it a good reason to jump in now because they have that, where they don't have that in the back then. Also, they're releasing Advent Children in the movie theaters, which I want to go watch that. I didn't know that. I never knew about the movie until recently, and I feel like that's cool that they're putting more like marketing behind it so that we can have a better experience when we play Rebirth. So that's cool. I don't know when Advent Children was in theaters, if it ever was. Did y'all ever see it back in the day?
Yes.
I've seen it. Yeah.
I
I
watched
was
it recently. I've
seen
seen
it
it
all.
3 times.
I saw it the day it launched in the theater.
I actually saw it before I even played anything Final Fantasy VII, because my friend had me watch it with her when we were in like middle school, but I had like no context.
Huh.
I think a good reason to even play the remake series is, I mean, I ask myself the question, or you could ask yourself the question of like why this Final Fantasy is getting the remake, because I know there's a lot of debate and discussion on like which other Final Fantasies get the remake treatment, but like there's a reason why 7 was chosen for it. There's a reason why they're fleshing out the story, and I think that in itself is a good enough reason to see what the story is about and understand why it's so iconic and has so many iconic characters. Like I think out of all of the Final Fantasy titles, 7 is going to be the most well known. So like Jahara said, like before she even dove into 7 or really any Final Fantasy, she knew the characters of like Cloud, Tifa, Aerith. Like they are very well known, and there is a reason for that. So yeah, and I mean the game plays phenomenally. It has such a good combat system. I think it's very nice that they have the like ATB gauge system, because not a lot of people like the turn-based combat, but they do sprinkle that in there as like a nod to the original. And then you have the real-time action combat, which is super cool, and it's just so smooth. It's so beautiful. It's just, yeah, it's a game that you should just play, not anything related to 7. It's just a fantastic game. So
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like add on because I agree with all of what has been said, and I was going to say a lot of similar stuff. I think that remake and what I've played of Rebirth so far does a really good job at, while adding a lot of new things and maybe changing some things, I think it just does such a good job at like capturing the essence of the original 7. Like the way I could describe it is like when you play an older game when you're a kid, and you kind of almost like have to use your imagination a little bit, because the graphics weren't as good back then, and you'll remember it to look a lot better than it did. I feel like what they did with like remake and rebirth is it looks how like I would have imagined it to look if I played it when I was a kid, like when it first came out. I mean, I was like too young to play it, I guess, but and because like I guess like a good example would be like when I played like Crash Bandicoot as a kid, like the remake looks like how I imagined it when I was a kid. I don't know if that makes sense.
no, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
that makes
No, it
total
totally
sense.
does.
Yes.
For me, like a weird like metaphor for that is like if you like watch like anime in Japanese and like with subtitles, but then you like remember it, you in your head they're like speaking in English because that's how you're gonna remember the words. So it's almost like how like whatever like in imagination you're like injecting into the game as you play it with the older graphics, like they've somehow, I feel like they like went into like my actual head and be like and pulled it out, because I'm like, yeah, that's how it looked to me. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really cool. They did a great job.
They did such a
honestly.
good job. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess to add on to all of this, it's the whole aspect of combining people that have never even touched a Final Fantasy, and combining people that have played the original the day it came out, or those that have just seen stuff on the outside. Everybody is waiting and anticipating this installment and the next installment after that without understanding what's going to happen. So it's always hard to jump into a fandom or like anything that's very, very popular when you don't know where to start. And it seems intimidating in that sense. But at this point, the topic of discussions, where it be newcomers or oldcomers, I think the Final Fantasy community as a whole is just, we don't know what's going to happen. And it'd be good for anyone looking into getting into Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy in general right now. Like if you are very interested into the JRPG world, this is now your time to be able to jump in conversations in social media or meet friends that are probably playing the game at the same time. And it's just, it's weird. Like, this is at the end of the day, this is just a video game, but with the lead up to Rebirth and this game coming out, it doesn't feel like it's just a video game. Like, it feels like it's like this movement where everyone's like anticipating. It's like, I can't believe this is finally happening. Like, it was a little bit like that with when the first installment remake came out, because it was announced in like 2015 or even before that, and then it took years for it to finally arrive. But seeing like everybody just so excited, and like Final Fantasy VII specifically seems like the only Final Fantasy that can jump out of the people that have that don't play JRPGs, and it's such a well-known thing. So it's such a good time to jump in and not feel like you're like, oh, I don't know anything, because you don't have to know anything to play Rebirth in a few days. You can just go in and play Rebirth, because if you just played Remake, that is a game in its whole. It has a beginning, middle, and end, and it's just like, it may get you to go somewhere else. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I was like, I thought it was just me, and then everyone's like, yeah, it doesn't feel like just a video game. So I was like, yeah. I was like, no, I feel like I'm like prepping to like go on like this massive trip. I'm like, do I got snacks? Do I have this? Like, what can I do? But yeah,
it's life. Yeah. Final Fantasy VII is life.
It really is.
You have a good point. Because it's like when you jump onto something, when like there's this huge buzz of popularity around it as well. Like, obviously you can like start a new book or start a new game whenever you want, but it is fun to do it when there's a bunch of people around that you want, that are like really willing to talk about it with you, and also like really excited. So like you can join in, and then like everywhere you like, everyone's gonna be like, you're playing too, I'm playing, let's talk about it. Like, it's like you get to like join the book club when it like revamped itself. All of us are really excited. So join in on the excitement, and you can pretty much start anywhere you want to at this point. I feel like they've done a really good job of making them really seamless. You can start from original, you can start from Rebirth or Remake. I feel like we've all kind of conceded that like some of us played original first, some of us played Remake first or Remake only, and we still all really enjoy what we've played so far. So just jump on in. I don't think you'll have a bad experience no matter which way you choose to do it.
Yeah. It's like the most accessible it's ever been.
They have I didn't jump into the demo, but I'm pretty sure they have like a recap, right, in Rebirth for people that may want to understand Remake.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I didn't click on it, but
it is voiced by Red 13's voice actor, and he takes you through. It's really, really well done. I definitely watched it because I'm doing my Remake replay just to like get refreshed before Rebirth, and so I was like, let's see what they say. But I know that's also available on YouTube because they released it a while ago. It's called The Story So Far. So if anyone is definitely interested and didn't have time to get to play the remake, but you really want to play Rebirth, like The Story So Far is really, really well done, and you can get the idea of what Remake is about.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch that.
I'm gonna have to watch it too. I
might watch it myself just for a refresher.
Yeah, I've been trying to finish hard mode, and I don't know if I'll be able to in time, so
Hard mode is fun.
Hard mode.
It is fun.
I think like I always play games on the hardest difficulty, and then hard mode wasn't unlocked until after you beat it. But it's done in such a nice, unique way, where it's not just like the enemies have so much health. It's like you can't heal.
Right.
It's like the only way you can heal is if you find a bench, and it's just like it makes you think more strategically, like how Original did and any turn-based game did, where it's like you need to make sure you're well prepared for this moment. And it's like, yeah, it's an action game, but you still had like those tactics of playing a turn-based game. So I really enjoyed it. And then they also definitely like added new things to certain bosses, like a certain house.
Certain house.
Nothing suspicious about the house.
It reminds me of a lot of what Spofie said, that like even if you're not particularly like, because when I played Remake, I actually had never really played action based games. I know it's not fully action, but like I was like coming from like not like combat based games at all, so I was really intimidated by that. But it's pretty easy to pick up, like, and there are various levels, like you can get to hard mode, but even like think back on my playthrough and I did struggle a bit because I wasn't used to like utilizing different like techniques and things like that. But like the game does teach you how to play it and like how to fight, and like you'll get your way through. It's not unfair in any way, shape, or form. And I think the combat was really well done. It was really engaging and accessible. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to
think
see
they
it
did
again
it
in Rebirth.
in a really elegant way where it like kind of like slows down and lets you make some decisions, because I was stressed about that too. I was like, oh gosh, it's gonna be a lot all at once.
Yeah, the nice thing about the ATV gauge system is because it slows everything down, you can kind of have that quick breather and like almost recollect and be like, okay, what do I do from here? Like, or
Yeah.
if you don't even need to use a skill, you just essentially use it as like kind of a pause and then you go back into combat. So yeah, it's really awesome.
I always like entering into slow-mo, but then also seeing my character about to get sliced. I'm just like,
No, let me just delay this. I've caught my characters doing some wacky poses, like, you know, mid animation. I'm just like, huh, okay, so that's how they did it.
I had a really funny moment where I was like summoning Shiva in the original game, and I paused to like choose a skill, and it was just like her boobs on the whole screen, and I was like, that was not on purpose, I promise.
oh man, now I'm just thinking about just playing the game, just experiencing it, and just like
I know.
everything that
Are you all-
happened.
Are you all playing day one, like release, like jumping right in?
Yep.
Are we waiting at all? Okay.
Absolutely not. I can't wait. I've already suffered so long waiting. I have to get into that as much as possible. But I am
Yeah.
going to take my time. I usually go overboard when it comes to games I'm really excited for. So I am going to just like take it one day at a time and just be like, all right,
Same.
don't
wanna-
no
I-
5,000 hour streams for me. No.
I'm so curious how, because I've tried to avoid as much as I could, but I really want to see what the different cities / towns look like, because I haven't seen that yet. I want to like really look around when the game comes out at the new, just because I remember how they were in the original and they're just pixelated. So now like being able to see like the graphics, how updated they are, I'm like, ooh, what does Nibelheim look like now? I'm curious.
I know, I agree with you. I'm honestly a little intimidated by it, Kylie, because I feel like the time that we're gonna like want to spend fully exploring each area when the game is already so large, I'm just like, I'm gonna be playing this game for the rest of the year. Lord help me. Like,
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
It's gigantic. Yeah.
Without like I'm not gonna say like anything in detail, but they did just showcase like a lot of amazing things that you'll be able to do in Rebirth. And I know both Sarah and I are trying to like erase it from our memories because of all the stuff that they showed. But literally playing this game until like 2026 at this point, because it's so massive, and I want to like go through every little corner. I want to like make sure I don't miss anything or any cues, because there's like people like looking at in the demo, looking at posters in the background that are like hints, or not hints, but like reminiscence of like the original and stuff
Easter
like that.
eggs?
Yeah, that's the right word. Yeah.
I love that. Oh, I hope I find one.
I didn't know, but I was watching someone else play, and I didn't know that in Seventh Heaven, in the back at the top, there's a picture, or like I think it's in the back, there's a picture of the original Seventh Heaven, like just hung up on the wall. I didn't know that. And so I was like,
I didn't know that either.
yeah,
I noticed that either.
y'all don't be missing
go see
nothing,
it.
Final Fantasy 7 fans.
and so now I'm like, now I'm gonna be looking at pictures. I'm gonna be looking at grass. Like, does this grass have a picture of? Is there a piece of Sephiroth's hair in this grass? Was he here? Like, there's just so much in the game, and I cannot wait.
I'm looking forward to the mini games. I hope they're easier than the original was. Gosh dang, some of them.
I love
those are
the original.
that
one.
was
Oh my
hard.
god.
Marching band one. Oh, that
Mini
was
games
so
are so
difficult.
fun.
So fun. I'm excited.
The pull-ups.
Oh yeah.
Squats and pull-ups.
The squats and stuff. Oh my gosh. Squats.
It looks like there's gonna be a lot of mini games in Rebirth.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Like a
know.
lot.
Yay.
Like the gold saucer aside, like that's one thing, but there's also so many outside as
Yes.
well. So yeah.
Which is crazy because there are some video games that are essentially just like a big bucket of mini games. So I was like, I feel like that in and of itself is like a whole separate game where you can just
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
a bunch of mini games. And they do mention that like what I'm excited for is that like the story progress doesn't really affect a lot of the mini games. Some of them it does, but like there's so many that you can just go back to over and over and over again. And like I think that's really nice. I think that increases the replayability of the game as well. So that and like the gold saucer. There's so many things. This game is going to be absolutely massive. I start to like sweat when I think about it a little bit. I'm just like,
Yeah, it's so like I'm telling you, it's that lifestyle. You have your like packing list of like what you need for Rebirth. Like it's just the game, Joy, but no, it's not. Like I gotta make sure. What if I need tissues? I don't know. We don't know yet. We don't know
It's an
anything.
experience. It's not
Yeah.
just a game. It's a full experience. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh man. So I guess we still have some time, and if there's anything that you all want to talk about that we have not discussed, we can just freeform anything. We've hit all the amazing topics so far today, and I want to make sure that everyone gets all of their Final Fantasy VII gospel speak. Uh-oh. I was like, I heard Jahara. I see Jahara talking, but I didn't hear. But I hear you now.
oh, I wasn't actually. It was like back of my throat laughing. I'm like trying to think of what else we can talk about that's like not spoilery. Oh, I'm kind of curious from. I don't think if you can speak to it and without like delving into like where that place is. It makes me think of what Kylie said. Is there a specific place in Rebirth that you're most excited to see rendered? Because I have a couple.
Oh yeah.
Without like saying where, because I wasn't sure before like they'd shown us what they've shown us, like how far we're going to go into the story, because they're really fleshing everything out. Like they're really fleshing stuff out. But like one of my favorite places in original was Cosmo Canyon, and I just am excited to see how they've chosen to render that particular place. And I'd love to hear from our chats as well if they want to chime in, like just not like all of the spoilers about why, but like where do you want to see? And I'm just like, Cosmo Canyon. I didn't know if we were gonna get that far, but we do, and I can't wait to see how it looks. I bet it's so beautiful there.
I can't wait for it too, because Cosmo Canyon is just a song to me, genuinely, but like it's a really good song. So
It's so
like,
good.
It's such a jammer.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I was gonna say Cosmo Canyon because the music, also like, you know, backstory and stuff for Red. But I don't know. There's a lot of cool places. Costa del Sol.
Segues.
Beach episode.
Soul.
Yeah. Wu Tai. I'm excited for Wu Tai. Yeah, I think it's gonna look really
Wu-Tai.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my
I'm really
gosh.
excited. There's
That's
a
a good
lot in
one.
Wu Tai, so yeah, exploring that's going to be really fun. And then obviously Gold Saucer, and I won't shut up about the Gold Saucer. So.
It's okay, Midna. I was gonna say the gold saucer because it was so
Yeah,
tiny
it's just-
in the original. So I'm like, how
It was
massive?
tiny, but it was like, yeah, it was so cute and like colorful
Yeah.
and exciting, and it's just like it makes me instantly happy. So I can't wait to see a full-fledged Gold Saucer again.
I wonder
That's
if
true.
the
It
gold
seemed like-
saucer gonna be free.
Oh. Oh yeah, I wonder. I feel like there might be like a currency system.
Yeah, it would
I
make
feel that-
sense.
I want to
Yeah.
assume that there will be a currency system. We just don't know what.
A couple people in my chat
Wow.
said they want to see Gongaga
Oh
Yeah.
rendered.
We're like, not saying anything.
I just want to say the meme.
Me, Gungaga.
Gongaga.
Me, Gongaga.
I can't help myself.
Oh man, there's
Trying
What
to
just
think of
about
what
the
else.
music?
so,
I've heard
400
there's
tracks.
a lot. Yeah. I
400.
I was like, well, I thought my chat said 40. No, it was 400, and I was like, interesting.
400?
400 tracks they
That's a
made
lot.
for
That's
Rebirth.
a lot, yeah. Holy crap.
I just got the vinyl. I was like, this does not say 400 tracks. Where are my 400 tracks? But it's just like the music of 7 is already fantastic, but they're like, this isn't like spoilers because I feel like music is I kind of a free range of not being okay to talk about. But they basically said that they took the songs from the original and they saw the scene that these songs are being played or what's happening in scenes, and then they did a whole rendition of them to fit the specific scene's emotions. So you will have Cosmo Canyon, but then maybe somewhere like Red's probably doing something else somewhere else, and then you may also be hearing Cosmo Canyon stuff in a different way.
Huh.
Ah.
I was
Wow.
like, 400
cool.
songs! I'm so excited.
Mm.
I hope we don't
They're
have
gonna
to
make you
collect
feel
disc
really
for
happy and
those.
really sad for Cosmo Canyon.
It's like its own game. Like that's so
Really is.
crazy. It's like theater rhythm or melody of memory. How many
Wow.
songs there are.
Yeah.
I can't get over that.
Yeah, like, because you can for those that played the demo, you can kind of hear them splicing in the main theme and also like other themes within just the beginning
Yeah.
part of the demo. And I was just like, and there's gonna be 400 of these.
Yeah.
That's so wild to think about. The dedication,
It's just
the art,
Yeah.
the love.
you can definitely see
Detail.
the love that is in this game, and it's really cool that the people that worked in the original and also newcomers are a part of making Rebirth happen and making Final Fantasy VII just everything. And you could just see how they hear everyone too, and it's like they know that they have like this like kind of like Tifa, they have this pedestal to live up to, but then they're also free to like bring in new people because, you know, I think as a person like me that played the original, I would have never met any of you all or like had this opportunity to do this roundtable if you all didn't find the reason to jump into the remake. So it's just like you can see the love and dedication of like, yes, we love the original players, but then we also love the people that we want to come in and join our world and never
Yeah.
talk about it, because that's what's gonna happen as soon as you hit play. But we're
What
just
else? What else can we look forward to? Somebody mentioned in my chat of alternative costumes. What if that would
Oh,
be
that's
something to look forward to
true.
potentially? We don't know, but
I
like,
know.
that would be super cool to have alternative costumes.
Yeah.
So
just
Ooh.
the like ping on like the early things that were shown is just like the Cloud on the Segway outfit. So it's just
Yeah,
like
like,
I
can
don't
we
want to talk
just
about
rock
anything
that outfit?
recent stuff, but yeah. But yeah, like I want to have a blue shirt and just like over there whacking monsters. Like, why not?
giant buster sword, yeah, I don't like a floral ensemble.
That would be so cool because in like remake, like we get a few, but it seems like just on like what they showed us a little bit that we'll have opportunities for like a lot more of that this time around, which is so nice. I mean, I'm gonna have so many things to choose from to cosplay. It's gonna be great. Like,
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the different Tifa dresses were pretty iconic.
mhm.
I always think about them when I think about like outfits and remake.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if if any of the outfits will be like behind like decision walls like they were in
Right.
Yeah, I had no idea when I
Because-
originally made that decision that it was like different for everybody until someone told me.
Me neither. I got Eris like little country girl pink dress.
Oh,
She didn't get to have her moment. I'm sorry, girl. I didn't know.
time
That's
to
what,
replay the game.
that was as cool is
I
that the
love that.
original was a choice game without telling you. But now, like Rebirth, they're like, it's a choice game. I just want you to know that. You better make your decisions wisely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just easier to do replayability then. You just replay it to see the other ones,
Yeah.
the other choices
Right.
you can
Yeah,
do.
I'm taking everybody out on a date. I don't know how many times it's gonna take me to play this
We're all
game.
going.
If I gotta save scum, I'm just gonna, or yes, I'm gonna find a way to like get the code like Jahara and just like cram everybody in.
I know I talked on it already, but I'm really excited for that portion because I feel like that like really puts like you in the game. It gives like a personal touch to the game because like if you played it in online, if some of us didn't play it on stream, like there was really no way for us to know that the scene we got wasn't the scene that everybody else got. And so now the way we all are going to play, we're all going to get like different scenes and it'll be like fun to talk with our friends about it. Like, who did you get? Like, no way. Like, what did you say? No way. Like, and stuff like that. Like, I don't think, is it spoilers to mention like in remake, like who we got for like that, like nighttime scene? Because I literally wasn't playing with the understanding that like that was going to culminate into a scene. And
Yeah,
it wasn't until after it happened that
without
people told me that
context.
there was like, yeah. Well, okay. Without context, then I got Barrett, and everyone was like super shook. Like they were
Oh,
like, "How did
wow.
you get Barrett?" Yeah, I was like,
That's actually awesome.
"Yeah, I got Barrett," and everyone was like, "I've never seen that before," and I was like, "Never seen one before." I'm like Barrett in that scene.
Yeah, I didn't know
I
that.
don't know.
I didn't know you could get Barrett. I can't remember who I
Who did
got.
you guys get?
I think I got Aerith.
I think I got Tifa.
I got Aerith.
Yeah.
Well,
Huh.
I know why I got Aerith, though. I think it's because I kind of was like going a little bit quicker through the first part of the game. So I didn't do all the side quests. And I think that kind of affected it. I'm not sure, though. I did like all the side quests later on.
I know I got Aerith because I catered to her because I was like, I'm gonna give her a chance this time. And so it was just a full on Aerith appreciation playthrough for me, but it was worth it. I've seen all of them at this point, so I think all the scenes are very, very well done. But yeah, I can't wait for all of you to report back and let me know who you took on the gondola and to find out that Jahara's a master coder and found a way to get everybody. Because they did say
Either
there's
we're all
gonna
going on the gondola, or none of us are going. Okay.
they said they added more than what was in the original. So
More options who we
more
can take,
options.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So we
It
might get
gives me more
somebody we didn't
anxiety.
even know was an option. I don't know.
That's so
Or
funny.
we might
to
get a
think
group
about.
date. We
Yeah.
might get that.
That
group
would be
date,
so fun. I like want to know if it's going to be like one of those like online quizzes where like the answers are so obvious that you can kind of like lead it into like the answer you want. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those ones where they'd be like,
Mhm.
what kind of person
Oh,
are
yeah.
you? And then like you would like have like the 4 answers. And you're like, I can kind of tell. Like, are you an introvert and extrovert or an introverted extrovert? And you're like, I can see where this is going. I'm really curious if like the relationships we cultivate with the characters will, in the sort of like what they ask or whatever happens, I have no idea how that works, is going to make it obvious to us who we're going to end up with, or if we really will truly be surprised by the outcome.
Yeah, I think with the whole friendship, whatever system, like the personal, just dialogues that you have with each character, I think you might be able to kind of tell just based off of that, like how you talk to each character and spend time with them all like throughout the game. I don't want to say it's going to be like right before you make that, like right before the scene comes, you make that decision. I think it's your choices throughout the game, and then everyone has like that different level of friendship with you or whatever you want to call it. So I think there's going to be a lot of factors.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting because I definitely want to do right by everybody. So I wonder if you do right by
Yeah.
everybody, like who will be the person.
I was thinking that too. I want Cloud to be a soft boy and just be nice to everyone. But
Same.
I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm like, that's going to be hard.
Like you do something nice for somebody, but then somebody hates that. Is it gonna be,
I
like,
wonder, like it might be
you
like you
know?
can't please everybody, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I think that would make sense. There has to
Feels
be,
bad.
in my opinion, some conflict because you can't just please I don't know. I feel like you can't just please everyone.
Yeah.
It's complicated. I don't think that's how it works.
Accepted.
Yeah.
Will we get like a Tifa will remember that?
Yeah, like I
Remember
feel
that.
like we'll have moments like that, you know, especially with Tifa and Aerith, whoever you spend more time with, or depending on what choices you make, it could potentially affect choices in the future with that other character. So you might,
We also
I don't
Maybe
know.
like
Story
timing
is
things,
gonna
like they
go.
would want. Oh no.
Oh, I hope there's not time stuff. Now I'm gonna be in a panic. Like, oh no,
Yeah, it'd be like if
I
you
forgot to
agree
talk to
go
Red
this
last night.
thing with this character, you can't go to this thing with that character. You can't do both. I'd be like, what do you mean I can't do both? You have to do
Watch
both.
me save, new save, new save, new save.
Yeah.
Save scum.
The problem with me is like I don't like to like save scum. This is just like a personal thing
Mhm.
because for me it's like what happens. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I have to like live with my consequences, or else it like almost like makes me feel less immersed. But I am afraid if I get like something I don't like.
I thought about like doing a save before that, like the gold saucer thing, but I feel like it has something to do with leading up to that. So even if you did have a save before it,
Yeah, there's gonna be like other
Yeah.
factors.
There's so
I
many
mean,
things.
that's kind of how it is in the original, right? I mean, based off of the choices, and you didn't even know you were making those
Yeah.
choices, right? Like throughout the game, and then when you get to that scene, you're like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder. I am so curious because I wonder if, like in Remake, they make it a lot more overt. It seems in Rebirth when like how you're interacting and like choices you make. But I also wonder if they'll mix it in with some stuff that is like slightly less overt, like without spoilers, like the part where it's just like you can choose when you all fall down, you can choose who to go to first to check on.
Mhm.
And like you have no idea what that is going to, if like I had no idea. I was just like, oh, it seems like in things that seem like a really inconsequential choice that eventually do affect something.
And that
is
definitely
just-
came with the knowledge of playing the original, because like for you're just like, I'm just gonna go to whatever, but like for like original players, we saw them specifically doing that and we're like, I know what you're doing. You're not slick, Square
I'm not
Enix.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if you play the original, if you'll have a little bit of advantage of how things play out.
or like maybe not even an advantage, but maybe just like maybe knowing how things play out, you'll feel biased for how you interact with characters.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Because maybe if you only played Remake and you don't have any context behind like previous established relationships, then you're just gonna choose based on like your own personal feelings. I feel like knowing the original story is going to influence how I choose to act versus when I played Remake and I was literally just like, I don't know anything about these women or anything. So
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
like-
whatever.
How much is Cloud behaving like the player, or how much is Cloud behaving like Cloud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. It's all
Oh,
just
it's gonna
gonna
be so fun.
we all don't know what's gonna happen, obviously. We have not played the game, but it's just gonna throw a curveball and be like, surprise, we're just gonna throw in a bunch of people you never even thought. Like, here's this bartender at Seventh Heaven that worked for Tifa like 5 minutes ago. Like, what?
Oh,
Perfect.
excellent.
But yeah, it was such a fun roundtable today to talk about Final Fantasy VII, and I want to give another shout out to Square Enix for sponsoring today's roundtable. And as we wrap things up here, we're gonna go around again, starting with Spofie, then backwards. And like remind everybody where they can find you and what you do and all that fun stuff.
Okie doke. Yeah, I'm Spofie. I am a Purple Lalafell VTuber, and you can often find me on Twitch streaming Final Fantasy XIV and other cozy games, indie games, and JRPGs. Absolutely, we'll be doing a Rebirth playthrough, as I'm sure everyone here is thinking about playing it themselves. And yeah, I'm Spofie on SPOFIE on all platforms.
I'm SarahKey, and hopefully I didn't make too many Kingdom Hearts references because I tend to do that. But I variety streamer, like I said earlier, play a lot of JRPGs, And you can find me at SarahKey on Twitch and YouTube, or the SarahKey on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm really excited to play Rebirth.
Yes, I'm also really excited. I'll be playing Rebirth when it comes out, of course, and trying to play as much as I can, and try to get all the details I can, and hopefully find Easter eggs like what we were talking about. But I'm MissKyliee. I'm also a variety streamer. I play a lot of story-driven games, RPGs, JRPGs, as well as MMORPGs. It's quite a lot, but we like to have fun. I'm a family-friendly streamer, and I'd love to have you. I'd love to have you for when I play Rebirth.
Hello again, I'm MidnaBaby. Super stoked to be part of this roundtable, by the way. It was so fun talking to you ladies about Final Fantasy VII, but I'm mostly on twitch.tv. You can find me at twitch.tv/MidnaBaby. I'm a variety streamer, but I also play a lot of Final Fantasy XIV, but I do JRPGs, RPGs, Souls games, and the occasional party game with friends, so would love to have you guys hang out. And I will be playing Rebirth. I might try to do remake first, but yeah, that's not looking good so far. But yeah, see you for Rebirth.
Okay, hi, I'm JaharaJayde. You can find me JaharaJayde pretty much anywhere except for YouTube, which is JaharaJayde Games. I have spent the last couple of years, starting from 14, working my way through the entire standalone Final Fantasy catalog. We are currently on disc 3 of 8, if you want to come hang out, because we're working on trying to finish that before Rebirth drops. And there's just so much. I have such love for the franchise, and it's nice to be able to see all of the references and the homages and the nods to everything all at once. I'm also a cosplayer who really heavily cosplays from video games, including the Final Fantasy series, so feel free to follow me anywhere. You can come to my stream. I'd love to chat with you. I will be playing Rebirth, and just to warn you, it will be a really slow, thorough playthrough because I am obsessed with the little details, including like the sparkles in the sky and the bugs in the grass. So if you're okay with that, come hang out with us as we explore and world build this whole thing. Yay!
Nice. And I am Joy. I go as CuriousJoi. I am a JRPG fighting game streamer. You can find me CuriousJoi everywhere, and I will 100% be playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm currently in the process of my remake playthrough from the from this video, and I will be finishing literally the Tuesday before Rebirth drops, and then on Wednesday I'll be watching Advent Children to just lead it up. So hopefully Wednesday at 9 p.m. I can pop on and say hello to Rebirth. But yeah, I would definitely be playing Rebirth day 1. I cannot wait. And yeah, join me if you want to have fun and if you like music, because I'll be stuck at the piano for a very long time. So yeah, that is it for this roundtable. Again, thank you so much, Square Enix, for sponsoring this roundtable, and it was such an amazing time to talk with you ladies today. I cannot wait to talk to you guys again once we beat it and have a spoiler chat.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I cannot wait.